Well, it's the British National Party. It's you get what it says on the label. We're a party that believes that Britain should be run by the British people, for the British people, and we should maintain our traditional values, our traditional identities.
Is the BNP a racist party, and are you a racist?
We're not a racist party. The criminal charges a couple of years ago, I was found not guilty on all charges by two separate British juries. No, I'm not a racist. Even when we had a Brits-only membership policy, it wasn't about racism. It was about the indigenous people of this country, the English, the Scots, the Irish and the Welsh. We've been vigorously opposed to mass immigration from Eastern Europe over the last couple of years. They're people who are whiter than I am, but we can't have hundreds of thousands of people coming in, taking jobs in a country where there's actually 8 million people of working age economically inactive. It's not a question of race at all.
So what do you say to those critics who say that you're basically putting a nice face on what is, in their view, a racist party?
Well, we're not a racist party. Obviously our critics, the Labour Party and so on, will say that we are. But the Labour Party have, for instance, in Barking and Dagenham, they've taken a place which I knew 35 years ago as really one of the gentlest and best and most homogeneous communities in Britain. It really was a special place. It was the old East End that had been bombed out by Hitler and so on, moved here. It was a lovely culture. Sort of a bit rough around the edges, but it was really something special. And in parts of this borough now, you can walk around and you can go from street after street without hearing English. And it's been utterly transformed by the Labour Party in the last 4 years. If that was done with the wishes of the local people, if at the last election they'd said, we're going to transform your borough, can we have a mandate for that? That'd be fair enough. They've had no mandate. It's very, very undemocratic. For that reason alone, it's about time that there was a party giving local people a choice. They can either vote for the Labour Party and more of the same, or they can vote for us to stop the flood.
So what's your solution for this area in particular? I mean, not just stopping mass immigration, but are you talking about changing the face of this area back to what it was like before?
Well, obviously, if we control the council, there are some things we can do, and if we have 1 or 2 seats in Parliament, there's some things we can do, but we can't transform overall national policy. What we can do is we can stop the various ways in which this country is literally being swamped by recently arrived immigrants. Primarily, at the moment they get here, they're at the front of the housing list because it's done on supposedly a needs basis, and the very fact they can't speak English, the very fact that they've only just arrived here, the very fact that they've got 5 or 6 children, puts them to the head of the list in front of people who've been on a waiting list for 10 years, whose parents have paid into the system here for 30 years. These may be white Brits, they may be West Indians, they may be Sikhs. In all cases, it's grotesquely unfair. If we can take the council, we can stop that in its tracks and have a policy which says that the only people who get housing in this borough are people who've been here for longer than other people.
Why do you think voters are now starting to listen to the BNP?
Voters are listening to the British National Party, really, because we're saying what they say in their own homes, in their own pubs and so on. We're literally, it could sound trite, but we are a party of the people. We're not professional politicians at all. So people are finally seeing, here's a political party which actually says what we think, and that's really what it's all about.
The best case scenario for you in the general elections, what do you want to see happen?
The best case scenario for us in the general election will be to win 3 seats. Just as simple a breakthrough as that. Even to win 1 would be a huge, it would be a political earthquake. In general elections, people generally in Britain vote on who they hate least out of the Labour Party or the Tory Party who are going to get in. So for us to even be considered as possible winning candidates in this is a political sea change. A general election will do us, because it shows we're on the right trajectory, we're keeping moving forwards.